Hey, welcome to my Account 1120 discussion, continuing our topic of plant assets. My goal of this discussion is learn how to write off acquisition costs, which we talked about in a previous podcast, through calculating depreciation expense. And I want to learn three methods: straight line, units of production, and declining balance. In order to illustrate these three methods to you, we need to get a few topics straight in our mind. First of all, what is the cost of a plant asset? And we did that in our last cast where we look at acquisition costs. And it includes everything we talked about capitalizing all costs associated with an asset to get it in place, ready for its intended use. And then we looked at a variety of methods to do that. The next thing you need to look at is the useful life of an asset. The useful life of an asset means how long will you use it? Wow, I spelled that wrong. Pretty sad. So an asset's life depends on how long you think it will be useful to you. If you plan on using it for 3 years and selling it, then its useful life to you would be 3 years. And then there's the idea of salvage value or residual value. And that is how much it will be worth at the end of its useful life to you. So if your plan is to use a car for 3 years, it will have a higher salvage value than if you plan to drive it till it falls apart and can't be used anymore, so you drive it for 10 years. So there are three factors involved in the computation of depreciation: cost, useful life, and salvage value. And we need to take all of that into consideration when we learn how to do straight line, units of protection, and declining balance. Are you ready? We've already learned straight line last semester. Let's go ahead and review that. Let me do some facts to show you how to calculate those three depreciation methods for three different examples: cost of $15,000, salvage of 3, and useful life of 3. We're going to assume full year depreciation to start with, and then we're going to flip to part year and purchase the asset in April at the end of each discussion so you can get a feel for it. So let's start with straight line. The formula to calculate straight line depreciation is cost minus salvage value divided by useful life. In our example, our cost is $15,000, our salvage value is 3, and our useful life is 3. 15,000 minus 3 is 12,000 divided by 3 would equal $4,000 depreciation on a straight line basis per year. Straight line depreciation recognizes that the plant asset wears out evenly over time, not more up front, not more at the end. It just wears out evenly as you use it. And calculating our formula, we would say depreciation expense for this asset over its 3-year life would be $4,000. So we would say depreciation expense would be $4,000 for the first year, $4,000 for the second, and $4,000 for the third. That would lead to some journal entries that said depreciation expense $4,000 and accumulated depreciation for $4,000 each year for those 3 years. And accumulated depreciation at the end of the first year would be $4,000, but it's a permanent account. Remember, it's a contra asset. It doesn't ever zero out. So at the end of the second year, it'd be 4 and 4, $8,000. At the end of the third year, it would be $12,000. And the asset would be considered fully depreciated and probably close to its end of its useful life for us. On the balance sheet, how would this look? The end of the third year, we'd have the cost of the, let's say it's equipment, being $15,000. Accumulated depreciation in the contra account being 12,000, and its book value to us would be 3. We wouldn't depreciate it any further than that. We would say it was fully depreciated and just sitting at its book value. This is how straight-line depreciation would work. What would happen if you didn't purchase it at the beginning of a year, but how about mid-year? How do you turn depreciation into this for mid-year? Let's say you purchased it on April 1st. What does that do to the first year's depreciation? That's an easy fix. Take your $4,000, that's depreciation for a year, and divide it by 12. That would be depreciation for a month. And you would have owned it for 9 months if you did this. So times it by 9 to fix it for a partial year. Do the math of this and come back and you'll see that that would be $3,000 for the first year, $4,000 for the second, $4,000 for the third, and you have a little stub of a year left. How would that look? It would look something like this. Straight line mid-year with an April 1st purchase, $3,000 for the first year, partial year, 9 months. Pick up $4,000 for the second year and the third year, and the fourth year you'd have a little bit left to pick up. So taking straight line to a partial year is easy. You just need to break it down by month. I think the next on our list was units of production. Let's bring our facts forward. We have a $15,000 piece of equipment with a salvage value of $3,000, but since we're doing units of production, we don't need to know its life. We need to know how many units we're going to produce with it. And in our example, we're going to produce in total 100,000. And let's say it works out that in the first year we produce 25, the second year 35, third year 35, and the fourth year 5,000 units. And that's how we get to our 100,000 units. How then would you calculate depreciation for this? Well, the formula changes ever so slightly. It's now cost minus salvage value divided by total units you can produce times the number of units produced in our year that we're looking at. In our example, we have a cost of $15,000, a salvage of 3, and we can make a total of 100,000 units. 15,000 minus 3 is 12,000. So $12,000 spread over 100,000 units. How much is that per units to produce? Let's get our unit cost. That comes up to 12 cents a unit. 15,000 divided by 3 is $12,000 divided by 100,000 units equal 12 cents a unit. Now you can times that by the units produced to get depreciation expense for the year. Someone's here. Listen to the dogs. Hold on. Let's look at a timeline where we have units produced. And we produced 25,000 the first year, so depreciation times the 12-cent unit cost, 3,000 for the first year, 4,200 because we produced more the second year, same amount the third year. We have 5,000 that we produce in the fourth year. We would produce 600. Units of production ties to usage. Straight line was tying to the passage of time. Units of production is tying to usage. So we would say depreciation expense, 3,000 for the first year, and accumulated depreciation 3,000 for the second year. 4,200 for the second year. Got ahead of myself, huh? 4,200 for the third year. And 600 for the fourth year. And if you add all of those up, it will equal the 12,000 that we wanted to write off. So here's a question for you. What would happen You purchased this on April 1st. Would it change anything? And the answer is no, it wouldn't, because you produced what you produced. You produced $25,000 the first year, so that's your depreciation expense. Produced $35,000 the second, $35,000 the third, and you had a little bit left over in the fourth. So there is no mid-year consequence. The fact that you're tying to actual production is self-correcting. That's pretty cool. In straight line, you had to fix it by the number of months. And units of production, it just fixes itself. What do you know about that?